What does it take to turn a bold vision into a billion-dollar reality before your 25th birthday? Well, you're about to find out in this remarkable story of the youngest self-made billionaire in tech history. Let's meet a young man who made a big splash in the tech world. His name is Alexander Wang, and he started out just like any of us, with big dreams and a love for technology. Born into a family of scientists, he grew up where big ideas were always in the air. This young man was really good at math and computers from the start, and he used the internet to get even better. His skills took him to a top school called MIT, but he didn't stay too long. Why? Because he had an idea that could change how we use technology. At only 19, he started a company called Scale AI with a friend. They had a simple goal: to make it easier for everyone to use artificial intelligence. This wasn't just a small project. It grew fast and made Alexander the youngest billionaire. But there's more to the story, and we're just getting started. Stay tuned as we explore how Alexander Wang turned a simple dream into a reality that's changing the world. They say some people are born with a silver spoon, but Alexander Wang was born with a keyboard in hand and a future paved in code. Alexander Wang's tale starts in a peaceful town called Los Alamos, New Mexico. This place is famous for its big role in creating the atomic bomb. Here, Wang was born to parents who came from China and worked as scientists. Growing up, he was always around big science talks, and this made him really interested in technology and figuring things out. Wang got into computer programming when he was pretty young. By high school, he was already great at it and even better at math. Instead of just hanging out, he'd spend his free time writing code. He was so good at math that he won big competitions, showing everyone he was going to be someone special in tech. Then Wang went to MIT, a school known for teaching some of the smartest people in science and technology. There he really got into artificial intelligence, or AI, and machine learning. He started to see how AI could be used not just in school projects, but to help solve big problems in the real world. But Wang didn't want to just stay in school. In 2016, he decided to leave MIT and start his own company called Scale AI with his friend Lucy Guo. They wanted to make AI something that businesses and app makers could actually use. They began with just a small group, working hard to make a system that would help train AI to do things like recognize pictures and understand spoken words. This system caught the attention of big companies like GM Cruise and Uber, and this was only the start. Wang's company expanded rapidly, and he was committed to transforming AI into a force that could truly change the industry. In the startup world, making a small idea grow into a big company is a real adventure with lots of ups and downs. Alexander Wang knew this well because he made his company Scale AI one of the best at what it does. When Wang started, he had to show people why his idea to make AI better was worth their time and money. There were lots of other companies trying to do similar things, so he had to prove that his idea worked and could grow. Wang knew that for AI to work well, it needed the right kind of data, so he made sure his company was really good at getting data ready for AI, which helped the AI learn better and faster. With Wang leading the way, Scale AI started to get noticed. They were smart about using both computers and people to get the data right, and this got them big deals, even with the US government. This made people take them seriously in the busy world of AI. Scale AI didn't stop there. They started offering more services to help with all parts of making AI, like checking the data and even helping self-driving cars get better. Wang wanted to make a place where anyone working on AI could find what they needed, and he was making it happen. Alexander Wang's early wins with Scale AI were just the start. He had big plans and didn't stop pushing his company into new areas of AI that no one had explored before. He wasn't just trying to come up with new ideas, he wanted to move faster than anyone else. Wang had two main goals: make the tech better and get more people to use it. He worked on improving the system that prepares data for AI, making it smarter and faster. This made it cheaper and quicker for companies to build strong AI. Lots of different companies wanted to use AI to get ahead, and they liked what Wang was doing. But Wang knew that making AI the right way was important. He made sure his company did things carefully and followed rules to make sure their AI was safe and fair. This made people trust Scale AI a lot. As Scale AI got bigger, so did its team. Wang wanted to create a place where smart people could work together and come up with great ideas. This team helped Scale AI grow even more. By 2023, Scale AI wasn't just another AI company, it was leading the way. The company, which was now worth $7.3 billion, started working on new projects like tech for autonomous cars and projects for the government. And Wang, only 24, became the youngest billionaire who made his own fortune. His story shows other young people that with a good idea and hard work, they can change the world with AI too. As the day ends in Silicon Valley, Alexander Wang stands out against the evening sky. He's a young man who's shown us all how far you can go if you're willing to chase your dreams. His story starts as a curious kid in a town famous for science, and now he's known as the youngest person to make $1 billion all on his own. But his story is more than just about getting rich. It's about showing us that we all have a chance to do something big. Wang took his company, Scale AI, from a small start to a giant in the tech world. His belief that tech can make the world better has made his company a key player in artificial intelligence, helping to push new ideas forward in many fields. But what really makes Wang's work special is how he's opened up artificial intelligence to everyone. He's given many people the tools they need to make their own dreams come true and tackle problems that seemed too hard before. Wang's journey also reminds us that sometimes you have to take big risks to do great things. He left a top school to start his company, a bold move that led to amazing results. His story encourages us to leave our comfort zones and explore new possibilities. Thinking about what Wang has done, we see that making new things isn't just for the experts, it's for anyone who's brave, curious, and ready to try, no matter who they are or where they come from. So, as we move forward, let Wang's story inspire you. Let's all be innovators. If you've got an idea or a passion for tech, now's the time to go for it. Take that step. Be brave with your ideas, and maybe you'll be the one to make a mark on the world. If you found value in this video, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. Remember to turn on notifications for more inspiring content like this. See you in the next one. If I ask you this question, who is currently the most powerful tech CEO in the world, I'm pretty sure your answer would either be Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, or Jeff Bezos. Or you might even say Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google. But sorry folks, your answer would be wrong. Sure, each of these guys has taken a turn at being the alpha dog in the tech industry, but none of them can claim this title right now. So, who is he? In this video, we'll reveal to you the new tech CEO currently ruling the tech world quietly. I know it's a bit shocking that Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg have been pushed out of the helm of leadership in the tech world, but if you think about it, it does make some sense. I mean, Musk is now a polarizing figure. Zuckerberg sold the world a social media dream that, frankly speaking, has turned into a nightmare, and Jeff Bezos ejected himself from being Amazon CEO simply because he has a new dream of making rockets, and he also wants to frolic around with his fiancée on his yacht. But if that's what makes him happy, good for him. Anyway, the point is that at the beginning of 2023 there was a vacancy in who would claim the title of boss of the tech world, and when ChatGPT was released, it seemed Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, might claim the title. But he didn't, because he hasn't been in the game for a long time. However, the AI boom of 2023 has brought a new guy to the head of the tech table, and he did it without the usual fanfare. You can even say that he slipped into the ranks. This man is none other than the CEO of tech company Nvidia, Jensen Huang, and yes, he is the new boss in town. Jensen Huang has never been among the top 5 richest people in the world like Elon, nor is he a household name like Bezos or Zuckerberg, but his company Nvidia currently beats Tesla, Facebook, and Amazon by far in terms of valuation, earning him a place in the $1 trillion club, a club with only 6 members whose companies are all valued above the $1 trillion mark. And the reason for all this is that Huang is a patient monopolist who saw the future of artificial intelligence 10 years ago, took advantage of it, and is currently reaping the rewards. But first, how did it all start? Jensen Huang was born in 1963 in Taipei, Taiwan, where he spent the first 10 years of his life. However, in 1973, Huang's parents decided to send Huang and his brother to live with their aunt and uncle in the US due to the social unrest in Southeast Asia at the time, before relocating to the US themselves. According to Huang's 2002 interview with Wired, this period was an interesting time in his life because his aunt and uncle, who were also immigrants, mistakenly sent Jensen and his brother to Oneida Baptist Institute in Kentucky, a reform school instead of a prep school. Although the kids were tough, sometimes entering into fights with pocket knives, Huang admitted he loved it there. Eventually, Huang and his brother moved on to Oregon to join their parents, where he graduated from Aloha High School. In 1984, Jensen received his first degree in electrical engineering from Oregon State University, and according to him, that was the perfect year to graduate because the first Mac computers had just been released, ushering in a new era in personal computing. After graduation, Huang worked in a variety of roles at LSI Logic and Advanced Micro Devices, both of which were chip companies soon after he bagged a master's degree in electrical engineering from Stanford University in 1992 and left LSI to build NVIDIA. At 30 years old, Huang drafted the paperwork for NVIDIA with two of his friends, Chris Malachowski and Curtis Priem, at Denny's restaurant in San Jose, California, in 1993. It was the same restaurant where Huang worked part-time when he was still a student, and the introverted and shy Huang learned how to be more outgoing. The idea was to create a company that built graphic chips for personal computers, which was quite fantastic, but the process of getting funding was not easy, so for the next 6 months, the three friends gathered together and did nothing except talk and have lunch. Eventually, the company was incorporated with $200 each, giving them a 20% stake in the company. The company's main product is its graphics processing unit, also called a GPU, a circuit with a powerful microchip at its core. When NVIDIA first started, the company only sold these GPUs to video gaming companies, and everything was going well, at least as well as it could for a small startup until the year 1997, when the company almost went broke. At the time, NVIDIA was working on an order from Sega, a key player in the gaming industry, to build graphics chips for its gaming console. However, Microsoft unveiled a new texture mapping approach that would make NVIDIA's product incompatible with Windows 95. This was a blow to the company because it was barely surviving and needed the money from Sega to keep floating. But Microsoft's announcement meant that it had to go broke instantly by stopping production of the card, or go broke later by building an inferior product that wouldn't bring much sales. However, Huang refused to give up, and he thought about a third option, which was calling the CEO of Sega to tell him NVIDIA would no longer work on the order, and humbly requested full payment, which didn't even make sense. But somehow Huang did just that, and surprisingly it worked. Sega paid in full even though NVIDIA didn't fulfill its part, and according to Huang, he still doesn't know why the CEO of Sega agreed. But whatever the reason, that payment was enough to sustain the company for the next 6 months. 2 years later, in 1999, the year NVIDIA went public, the company unleashed the GeForce 256, a graphics processing unit that not only opened new possibilities for the tech world, but also placed NVIDIA on a path to greatness. NVIDIA's GPUs did not just revolutionize the gaming world, they also changed the game for computer-aided designs, mobile devices, and scientific computing, which Huang began to market in 2006. Then came 2013, when Huang, based on promising research from the computer scientific community, decided to bet NVIDIA's future on artificial intelligence, which had disappointed investors for decades. Brian Catanzaro, the lead researcher for deep learning at NVIDIA, later stated that he had doubts at the time, but 10 years later, Huang's bet had paid off. 2023, the year of artificial intelligence, unlocked the vast potential of NVIDIA's GPUs for powering AI software. And as every tech company is jumping into the AI revolution, NVIDIA is right in the middle of it. One Wall Street analyst put it like this: there's a war going on out there in AI, but there's only one arms dealer, NVIDIA. What this means is that instead of manufacturing chatbots or any AI products such as Tesla's self-driving cars, Nvidia produces the chips that make these AI products possible. And since AI is here to stay, Nvidia is not going anywhere either. It's no wonder that when it was revealed that the game-changing ChatGPT chatbot was trained on an Nvidia supercomputer, it spurred the largest single-day gains in stock market history. In June 2023, the company hit the $1 trillion market capitalization mark, making it the 6th most valuable company in the world. However, 9 months later in March 2024, Nvidia took the tech world by surprise by hitting and surpassing the $2 trillion market capitalization, thereby beating Amazon to become the 3rd most valuable US publicly traded company. And the amazing thing is that it's showing no sign of stopping. This gain is also translated into the net worth of Jensen Huang, which soared to $81 billion, making him the 20th richest person in the world. So Jensen Huang may not be the richest guy in the world with a company whose product is a household name, but his foresight into the AI revolution has certainly paved the way for him to be the most powerful tech CEO in the world. At least for now, until someone else rises to claim that title. What do you think about Jensen Huang? Do let us know in the comment section below, and remember to like, subscribe to, and share this video. The Earth is dying because humans are killing it, and the only way to save humanity, according to the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is for us to become a multi-planetary species, meaning it's time for us to go to Mars. To achieve this, Elon has dedicated a lot of his personal resources to ensuring that by 2029, 1 million people will be living comfortably in a self-sustaining city. Magnificent and enthralling, right? However, while the idea of leaving Earth and moving to a self-sustaining city on Mars is exciting, there are a lot of things that Musk is hiding from the world. So in this video, we'll reveal to you some things you probably didn't know about going to Mars and why it's a pretty bad idea. So, Elon Musk says that going to Mars is paramount to the future of life itself because there's always some chance that something could go wrong on Earth. And to do this, he proposes, for a start, that 1 million people should be sent to Mars along with 100 million metric tons of supplies and materials, which would help them build this self-sustaining city on the red planet. To achieve this great crossing, all it's going to take is a fleet of 1,000 Starship rockets flying back and forth from Earth to Mars every 2 years, because the launch window for Mars only opens every 2 years. This sounds great and all, but think about the fact that the current SpaceX Starship can only carry about 100 people at one time. And if all the 1,000 space rockets happen to launch at the same time, then only 100,000 people will be able to get to Mars with a limited number of supplies every 2 years. Imagine how many years it'll take to carry 1 million people and 100 million metric tons of materials to build this so-called self-sustaining city. But that's not even a disadvantage because technology is advancing rapidly, so it's possible that before 2029 Elon would have created something that could carry more people, maybe even 1 million people at once. But why Mars? Why is it that whenever there's talk about colonizing another planet, it's always Mars and not our closest neighbor the Moon or even Venus or Saturn? We've got about 9 planets to choose from. Well, the simple fact is that we don't have another option. The Moon is quite close to us, but we certainly can't live there, and let's not even talk about the other planets, which are totally not habitable. And Mars is no different. However, the difference is that it has the potential for human survival, at least according to Elon, who believes that one day we can make Mars just like Earth. But is that even possible? Well, first things first, what makes Earth perfect for humans? The answer to that is everything. From the atmosphere to gravity, climate, and natural resources, all was made ready for humans to survive and grow. Think about how our skin blocks the right wavelengths, how our lungs tolerate the right gases, or even how our bones handle the right forces. And the fact is that anything more than a slight deviation from all these conditions will be catastrophic, which leads us to the question: what do we have to work with on Mars? First, let's look at the temperature. If you're going on a trip to Mars, you'd do well to grab a lot of winter clothes, especially very thick ones, because most of the time the planet is very cold, and I mean really cold. We're talking about a place that's almost always below 0 degrees, but it's not all that bad because sometimes the temperature can get up to 20 degrees Celsius, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean when the weather is 20 degrees you can just hop out of your brain and go for a walk, because the atmosphere is pretty much non-existent. What you will find, however, is lots and lots of carbon dioxide with zero oxygen, meaning you can't breathe. And if you can't breathe, how will you survive? The only option then will be for humans to live inside a dome where there's oxygen. And if you want to go outside, you've got to put on your spacesuit. Isn't that like a prison? Honestly, Mars doesn't give us much to work with, and its atmosphere and temperature are more than enough to discard the idea of going to Mars. But not surprisingly, there's more. Unlike the Earth, which has an atmosphere that blocks all the bad radiation coming from the cosmos, Mars doesn't have anything that will protect its surface from cosmic radiation. Its atmosphere is much thinner, so there's a high risk of people dying from radiation diseases such as cancer. Sadly, cancer is not the only disease you risk getting if you happen to be a part of the 1 million people who will be traveling to Mars by 2029. The gravity on Mars is much lighter than Earth's, approximately about 0.375 that of Earth, which means a 180-pound person on Earth would weigh a scant 68 pounds on Mars. This may seem nice for people with lots of weight, but in the long term, the low gravity is very likely to wreak havoc on human health and even cause damage to human fertility, which, as you know, will endanger humanity. I mean, if people can't reproduce, how would humans repopulate Mars? Now that's scary. But while you're still thinking about that, you should know that just like Mother Earth can unleash hurricanes and tornadoes, Mother Mars periodically unleashes epic dust storms, which can sometimes cover as much as 1/4 of the planet. And worse is that those storms are so strong they can destroy equipment and materials. And what's the guarantee that pretty strong epic dust won't destroy the dome? And let's not forget that if you happen to breathe in the dust, you may just have some kind of respiratory disease. In essence, Mars is not safe, and like Elon Musk says, any little mistake can cost the life of a person. But let's say somehow the dome is strong enough to withstand radiation, epic dust storms, and the cold, meaning that one of the basic needs of man, which is shelter, has been provided for. But what about food? Can crops grow on Mars? The answer is no. As a result of Mars's extremely cold, thin air and sterilizing radiation, it would quickly kill any crops planted in the soil. So at first, food and water will have to be shipped from Earth to Mars every 2 years until the scientists on Mars figure out how to grow plants in a greenhouse on the dome. If you think food is quite expensive now, just wait until potato salad or bread has to be boosted out of Earth's gravity well, flown across the void, then gently deposited outside a Martian airlock. Food becomes very expensive and probably rationed until plants start growing in the greenhouse, as there aren't really lots of options when it comes to food on Mars. If you're a vegetarian, you'll probably be happy on Mars because the food will consist mostly of potatoes and greens. But if you eat meat, I'm sorry to say you'll have to replace meat with insects. Yes, get ready to eat some insect goulash with some potatoes on the side, but it shouldn't be all that bad, right? And there's even some good news. An Israeli company is currently trying to grow meat from cells, so hopefully before the 1 millionth crossing to Mars begins, their experiment will be successful and people will be able to eat meat on Mars. So as you can see, there are a lot of challenges associated with traveling to and living on Mars, and to a large extent, there's a high chance that humans may not survive it if anything goes wrong. I know the argument for colonizing Mars is so that we can prolong the survivability of humanity just in case something happens, such as the ozone layer shattering to pieces and the fiery sun melting Earth and everything in it. But there's also a possibility that if that does happen, Mars will melt as well. And even if Mars happens to survive, what's the guarantee that humans won't begin to destroy planet Mars through their activities the same way it's currently happening on Earth? Instead of thinking of colonizing Mars for the future of humanity, why don't we focus on making Earth a better place for humanity to survive for as long as possible? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Cheers, until next time.